Well, let's run this by you. Alternative livelihood activities and skills training is proving to be life-saving because for many refugees living in Ghana, that's the best way to go. Existing barriers like language and cultural differences are still preventing many refugees from integrating into many Ghanaian communities. In the following report, Joy News Justice Baidu looks at how deep the problem is, and this is for the many refugees at the Christian refugee camp.
Christian refugee camp, tucked away some 150 kilometers west of Takoradi in the western region. Quiet and lonely, feels like a place devoid of any hope. But here, the inmates are not just whiling away time, they are also keeping themselves in wait of better opportunities to move on with their lives. Inside, I meet 47-year-old Patrick Molima from Congo, a hairdresser and beautician. He came to Christian 13 years ago, fleeing the massacre of Central African Republic's war. They cut my head open, he says, of the torture he went through in his home country. Now, he's training other refugees who want to start a trade in hairdressing.
I teach them to do the braids, weaves, pony, and the makeup. You can see the makeup there behind me. I teach them to be self-sufficient so they can fend for themselves. It can help them just as it is helping me. I was butchered by the rebels because I'm a Christian. I was the hairstylist of the First Lady of Central Africa. So we fled the country because of that. It was difficult. It's painful to talk about it because the shock is still with me.
Most refugees do want to start a life in Ghana. And for the people that I've met in the shop, learning a trade like this is one of the ways of achieving that. But they are heavily challenged because for most of the people, once they are done from this stage, they have the biggest challenge of integrating into the bigger Ghanaian society. One of the people Patrick is training is Marie, also from the DRC. She wants to live and work in Ghana, but has difficulties accepting a new life here.
La vie d'un réfugié, c'est pas facile. Surtout ici au camp, c'est pas facile.
The life of a refugee is not easy. Especially here, it's not easy. Look around us. This is not life. This is really not life for anyone. And nobody would like to live like this. There is nothing to eat. We are only managing. Even to manage is difficult. We are here doing hairdressing, and it's for our future.
La coiffure qu'on est en train de faire, c'est pour notre futur. Mais ici au Ghana, la coiffure qu'on est en train de faire, tu vas aller où pour aller faire cette coiffure?
But here in Ghana, what are we going to do with the hair we are learning to do? In the market or where? There are many people who did apprenticeship here, but there are no jobs.
Il n'y a pas de travail ici. Donc c'est pas vraiment facile, c'est pas facile pour la vie ici.
For Martin Bannerman, manager at the Christian camp, Ghana has to do more to help vulnerable refugees who want to integrate.
It is not everyone who can go back home for one reason or the other. And so for those who may not be able to go back home, it should be possible to roll out. If it's local integration, we should be able to roll out a local integration process. It has to be extensively discussed to the extent of involving even local communities to know the extent to which some of these local communities can even support in this local integration process, because it's very, very key. I think it's important for government to show more commitment in these processes, because if we don't do these processes well, if there will be a backlash of problems, we will find out that we will be burdened with people who may not be well skilled, who may not have any employment, source of employment, and become a burden on government.
With representation from more than 14 countries, Christian is one of the most diverse camps in the world. But for its inmates, Some who have been here since 1996 when it was set up, it's a struggle getting used to the new place they now call home. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Crescent.
And if you think integration is even more difficult for many of them, living away from the land of your birth as a refugee could be tough, but for children the experience could be even more difficult. To mark World Refugee Day today, Justice Bedu again traveled to the Christian refugee camp, and well, he documented the lives of young refugees hoping to make a career in football, and we take a look at this.
Kick off. Playing football, hoping this takes them to the dreamland. As diverse as this game itself is, so are these young people. These children live on the Christian refugee camp. Most of them are third and second generation refugees. Their parents and grandparents came to this camp 20 years ago when it was built, fleeing war and persecution in their home countries. Kofi, 12, from Togo. Pascal, 16, from Congo. Ellie, 14, from Sierra Leone. And Zach, 12, from Liberia, are just a few of the several twinkle little stars hoping to shine on the world stage of football. A dream they hope could take them away from this camp.
See what you are picking up. Go down.
35-year-old Mohamed Conte is the man on the touchline, coaching these boys into their dreamland. Like Zach, Mohamed came to this camp 17 years ago as a small boy running away from war in his native Sierra Leone. He was a talented footballer, he tells me, but there was no help and his dreams went away with time. Now he wants a better future for these boys.
The people are fighting, shooting. I cannot go there. If I go there, I cannot survive. I want to be a footballer because it's my target when I was small. I like football. If we go back, they'll kill us. That's why I don't want to go back. And I want to be a footballer.
The Ghana Refugee Board runs a school with funding from the UN refugee body, the UNHCR, on the camp. With representation from more than 14 different countries, this is one of the most diverse refugee camps in the world. One class in this school could contain children from more than 10 different countries. But for the many children who are studying here, an education beyond the basic level isn't guaranteed. Financial support for refugee kids only go up to basic level. Many of them fall out of school after that, and with limited opportunities of work, many are stranded on this camp.
I do know that there's a discussion going on with respect to secondary education. UNHCR are trying to work something out, but currently there's no assistance. And those who are locally integrating, for instance, have chosen local integration because they know or they believe that they will be able to fend for themselves here, make something out of whatever skills they've got so that they'll be able to fend for themselves, feed their families, pay school fees and so on.
Like the people who gave birth to them, the refugee kids on the Christian camp have dreams, not just for football, but for a brighter future here in Ghana and to possibly put the dark days of war behind them and return to their home country. But for many, it may continue to remain just that, a dream. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Chrisan.
And we're doing all these series of reports just to mark World Refugee Day. But please know that no matter how the difficulties are, you can always surmount life's troubles. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll do entertainment. Do stay on.